Hello guys, this is Joey with Joey TCG, showcasing off my first place locals. As you can tell from the title, I did choose to play Tearlament, one of the best decks, no matter what format it is. I really do love Tearlament because of the whole like mill factor and going off because of it. It's pretty nice. I do love mill decks a lot. Light Swarms are actually one of my favorite decks. So was Infernoid, because with Infernoid's more mill, your hand is your graveyard, which is pretty nice. But yeah, I chose to do this because I didn't really want to give up on this deck, regardless of the Banlist. But yeah, I actually went undefeated. 5 rounds against matchups I kind of didn't expect, to be honest. And yeah, I had really fun. Really cool deck, and I would love to showcase it to you. Alright, for the monsters, I did play the 3 Rhino Hearts. Most people will be playing 1, or some people will play 2. The reason I went for 3 is because when this card hits the graveyard, and you summon it from like ditching a Tearlament card, when it leaves the field, it gets banished. And I kind of want to keep I have another Rhino Heart so I can send another tier name for the late game, and plus it's a level 4, so you can go for like a Exoton Knight, Redo, or Baguska, or anything like that. And plus, they're OTs, so they look really nice together. Shouts out to Calvin for having these in his binder, and for me to actually have them. For actually purchase it from them, but yeah, card's really cool. I say 3 has to be the number you have to play depending on your ratios, but I think 3 is a really good call. I did play the 1 Sheeran, the 1 Havness, and the 1 Merle. These cards are really good. There's a reason why they went to 1 on the ban list, but because of the ban list and because of the hits of tiers, I personally think Sheeran is more viable than Rhino Heart. Rhino Heart, you can send like a tier name to the graveyard, fusion zone for Rulkallos, but since Rulkallos is banned, I think Sheeran is better, because if you have any of like the one-ups like the Ghitos, Kelbecks, or anything like that, you can send it off with Sheeran and you get that mill 3 or mill 8, because if you have the Ghito in hand. But with the planet, I usually search for this more than I search this. Yeah, I wish this card was at 3, honestly. I did play the 3 Cash Tier Tearlament. I think you have to play 3, or in my opinion, you have to play 3. Sometimes this card can be a brick if you don't have like a tier name in graveyard, or I guess a Cash Tier in that case. Or from your hand, you can do it from your hand, but it's kind of like you're kind of negating at that point. This is a better Havness in a sense. It's a quick effect, and banish something, or summon it. You can mill 3, hits the graveyard, you mill 2. It's just another name. Kind of downside about this is that there's no fusion card that I can think of that you can use this with. 1 Kelbeck, 1 Ghito, 1 Keldo, 1 Mudora. Have to play the Ishizus. Sometimes I actually seen players play with one of the shufflers, or or one of the millers, and usually just a Ghito. But I think you have to play these, because for new age Tearlament to play, you have to like mill, and mill, so you can actually go off. I think you have to play 4. Kind of sucks that you guys are at 1, but it's for good reasons, honestly. Really good card, and to get these 2 out, or the other 2 if you have to. I do play with 2 Diviner. If I wasn't playing Rhino Heart at 3, if I was playing 1 or 2, I would bump up the Diviner, so I could have quicker access to get Kelbeck or Ghito on graveyard. This, when you send the fairy, when you send these, you become level 6. Gives you Baronne, allows you to play Baronne. But yeah, card's pretty good. Sometimes I think most of the time, I think Diviner has a better, is more better than Rhino Heart, just because you can send 5 when you can. Sucks that this does get Ash Blossom, because it becomes a level 2. Fortunately, Elf is banned. But yeah, that card's pretty good. 3 King of the Swamp, of course, with the addition of polymerization. You have to play King of the Swamp just to go for Rulkallos, or the other fusion names like Grapha, the Million Eyes guy, all that. This card is really good. It's also an Aqua too, so you can actually use this to get into Kaleidoheart. But yeah, pretty good card. Polymerization, I don't like polymerization at all. Because with the fact that the tier names are at 1, this becomes kind of like useless in a sense. Yeah, I mean, I do play Guardian Chimera, but I never really ever went into Garden Chimera for any reason. In the late games, yeah, maybe once, but like lately I haven't really touched it at all. So I mean, it's cool. I mean, polymerization technically like deck thinning to search off of this, and this goes to graveyard just to be able to fuse into something. But I don't know, polymerization is kind of whack. One Squamata, one beast, one hollow. Squamata again, 2 beasts, beast to draw 1, hollow 2 mill. Hollow basically says that you can send cards from top to your if it gets sent to your graveyard by a card effect, you can send the top cards from your deck to graveyard up to the different attributes you have of this on the field. So most times, in most cases, you either mill 2 or you get to mill 5. So another enabler, mill enabler. Most of the time, this card does get sided out because this card does become a brick. And if you're forced to go, if you're either forced to go first or you're going second, this card in hand is kind of eh. Or I just don't like breaking, so this card usually comes out anyways. And I usually just keep the other 2 Shaddolls in. And then hand traps, I just played 3 Ash Blossoms. I was going to play Impermenance, but I don't like drawing too many traps that would necessarily progress the game state in a sense, or any way to help me get into my millers or tier cards or whichever. I think this is correct. Ash Blossom is really good, especially in the upcoming format. I think this is going to be like really powerful. But yeah, that's it for the monsters. For the spells, I paid the 3 field spells plus the terraforming. When I was at the tournament, I kind of keep forgetting that that planet has a pop effect. It like as much as I play Tearlament, like I always have actually forgetting doing the pop every single time, and sometimes it does cost me games for forgetting it. But to me, I just see it as a search card. Most of the time, like I was saying earlier, most of the time you search like Reinhardt with this, because now since that everything basically went to 1, I think Shire is more valuable now. But yeah, it's a really powerful card. This plus Gurura is like a crap ton of damage, like 4k damage, so you're knocking half your life points down already. But yeah, really nice card. 3 Scream. Some players will call me weird about this, but I like Scream a lot. I always played it at 3 when we did get it here in the TCG. The cool thing about Scream is that, like, if you have a tier name on board and your opponent no more special summons anything, I get to get them like basically mill 3, and then their monsters lose 5 on your attack. Usually, before then, we usually used to go normal summon Reinhardt, and then we do Reinhardt Chainlink 1 and Scream Chainlink 2, because we want to get the tier name engraved so we can actually go for Rulkallos, guarantee a Rulkallos play. Now milling is way more important. Now I actually go normal summon Reinhardt and do Scream 1, Reinhardt 2. It just gets to have the Ash Blossom. Now they can't ash your mill 3, and you can't, so you could be able to go off. Sometimes the mills can be pretty bad, but sometimes they can be very valuable. Main reason why I play 3. And also when they hit the graveyard, you can search for the trap card as well. So that's a very interesting interaction sometimes. What else? The Foolishes. 3 goods, 1 burial. Some players, or I think most players, are just playing 2 goods, but I think goods becomes 3 planets, an extra 3 points. So you're basically like playing 7 player Rhino. Or also play Trevor Karma 2, so you ditch Trevor Karma and you can search for like your Scream, your Solic, your Methanos, or anything that mentions Starfrost in its name. But yeah, I think playing 3 of them is correct. Foolish Burial, because you want to send your Ishizu stuff in graveyard or send a tier. Sometimes I do actually end up signing Foolish Burial because it does become kind of useless later on, but I think it's really good. And the 1 Instant Fusion. Only play Instant Fusion just for the Mud Dragon, because you can go Mud Dragon. Well, if you summon Diviner, you make it level 6, and you summon Mud Dragon. If you didn't have anything else, you can make a Baron play, and also helps you go into another rank 4s if you just have another like a Reinhardt or something on board to go for like Nibiru or Exoton, whichever. So it's a really cool card. I do side this out a lot because as the more you play, time does get kind of closer to 0, and you don't want to burn yourself for 1,000 for nothing. Traps, the one Trip Karma, the Solix, and the Mentoids. I'm playing 41 by the way. Book of Moon for the Castier matchup, Solar because it's a negate, and you can send a tier name from your field to graveyard to be able to go for another fusion play if possible. And Trip Karma, this can be like anything in your deck that mentions a Feast of Starfrost. So this is technically your other way to get to planet. Drawing this does suck though. And that's it for the main deck. 41 cards. The fusions or the extra deck, I do play Rulkallos, Cloud of Heart, the Grapha, Drago Sapelio, the Mud Dragon, Guardian Chimera, Gorura, and Winda. I do play 8 fusions. Winda's really good. I actually played against Mathmech, I think in one of my rounds. I think my 3rd round. And on my 6th summon, I summoned Winda, and he tried to Nibiru me, but I was like, well, Winda's already on board, so unfortunately you can't Nibiru at all, because the fact that it says the word thin in Nibiru counts as 2 summons instead of 1, so he wasn't really happy about that, and I completely understand. Winda's can be a very unfair card, but you just have to play. If you're playing Shadows, you have to play it. Yeah, I mean, basic generic stuff, honestly. 1 Baron, have to play. We're playing Diviner, really good card, negate. Exoton, Redoer, and Baguska. I chose Exoton because I think Zeus is, well, I don't like Zeus in this deck anyways, because yeah, with Exoton you're destroying everything, which can like enable a lot of stuff on board, but in Zeus you just send them, so nothing really happens. But I chose and for Zeus you have to attack with an Exos monster team you get into anyways, and that's kind of like kind of mid. But Exoton is a rank 4, it's easier to get into. But yeah, Exoton good for board wipes, good for trying to get closer to game and stuff. IP Masquerena, Nightmare Unicorn, and the Dark Charming Gloomy. Yeah, these cards are alright. I mean, going for IP if you can, just to go for the Unicorn is cool. But I don't know, you don't really get like the effects of the tier cards from Unicorn because it does discard for cost, and it does kind of like suck sometimes. With able to remove something over getting an effect is sometimes you need that. And Dark just to help you get into Unicorn, and Dark, just so I can poke if possible. Unfortunately, I actually didn't. And most of these cards in my extra deck I didn't even summon. So side deck, 3 Gamma, 1 Driver. I hate D-Shifter, and if I have to play against D-Shifter, I have to play these just so that's why I just can like negate it and just go off. Actually, to be honest with you, I saw this card more in my graveyard than I actually had seen in my hand. Actually, in this case, none. My first round, I played against Exosister, and I got D-Shifted like every single game we played, and it was so annoying. But luckily, game 3 he did kind of brick, and I was able to actually win that game. Otherwise, I would have lost. I hate D-Shifter. I mean, I like D-Shifter. I was playing if I'm playing it, but if I'm playing against it, I don't like it. 3 Nibiru, I did side this deck. I did side this card in like most of my games, but never saw it. It's on my graveyard more than I've seen in my hand. Nibiru, really good card. Big Rock. Scattershot, Bar 500. Actually did play against Ghoti in my round 2 matchup, and he didn't. Yeah, because Ghoti's the Ghoti and Tearlament matchup is very interesting. But I play Scattershot just so I can, win in time, but I really do hate it most of the time. I don't like winning in time with burn damage, but sometimes you just have to do it just to win, and it sucks. It's not, and I don't think it's very honorable, but yeah, he didn't really like the Scattershot play, and I completely understand. But when you're playing Mondays, you have to play Scattershot, and I don't know. I think it's very cheeky and kind of not fair, but Konami, thanks for the time rules, man. Super Poly, yeah, Super Poly's pretty good. I only played it once against Trap Tricks in my round 4 matchup, because he has Sarah on board, and he summoned Pudica. The Pudica got his field search, but and then I was able to Super Poly and make Gorura, and then he just set 4 and I was just poking with Guru with around a heart on board, and you know, it was kind of unfair because, I mean, Super Poly is very unfair at most times, but it is a good board breaker, and it kind of helps you extend your plays as well. But yeah, Super Poly is really good. Kind of, like I said, it's kind of unfair. If you know, more fusion based decks come out there, I think Super Poly should go. But you know, and I did play the one heartbeat just for any type of like back row removal, anti spells, or whatever. Never really played it because I didn't really play against any floodgates. But yeah, feels like you have to play it. In the 3 evenly match, board breaker. Don't think I actually cited this in. Yeah, I don't think I cited this in because I know if you have a good hand and they're able to get the mills going, Tearlament can break boards, but the only way they break boards is really through RNG. But yeah, that is my deck. This is my deck. I do like Tearlament. I am going to continue to play Tearlament in the future. I'm probably going to mix it with Manadome or Manadinium, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, you know, keep playing your decks, keep playing what you feel. I mean, if you really love a deck so much, keep playing, keep practice with it. Eventually, you're just going to win a lot more. But yeah, if you want to know my matchups, they should be in the description with some description of my matchups about like how I won and what I encountered and all that. But yeah, that's my deck profile. If you want to play it, I am going to leave a downloadable link so you can import it through like Dueling Book, Dueling Nexus, Yugo Pro, Edo Pro, whatever that you play, and so just give it a shot, or you know, use it as a blueprint. But thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Subscribe if you can. I'm not, you know, not too big on it really. Just do what you think, and yeah, have a good day.